This is 131 Law Call.
Hi, welcome to the Tennessee Valley's only live legal call-in show. It's Law Call, and I'm Robert Lane sitting in for Sharon Doviat. Our topic tonight is Ask Us Anything. We would love to hear your voice, so give us a call at 256-536-0077. And there's no worries because we are in incredibly good hands. Heath Brooks is here to answer all your legal questions.
Good to be here, and you can text us too if you
so,
prefer texting.
Now, I've known Heath since he was a baby lawyer.
Yeah.
Just a little baby lawyer.
I know.
But if you want someone who will explain things that you can easily understand, this is your guy.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm happy to do it, and you can ask us any questions. You talk about car wrecks, medical malpractice, you name it. We're here to answer your questions. Text us. We're happy to help you with those questions. But tonight and today, we've had some pretty serious issues with flooding.
We have, but before we get to that, you're inviting everybody to a party.
That's right. That's right. So it's soccer season. It's soccer season. We're putting on as I know it, the only FIFA-approved watch party in Huntsville this weekend with USA versus Paraguay, and it took us a minute to get approval from FIFA to do this, but we are closing down Holmes Avenue. We are going to invite the entire community out. We've got some great other folks that are working with us, restaurants and businesses in the area. So it's going to be a big party. We're going to have a big screen that you're going to be able to watch the game on, and then we're giving away prizes. We're giving away 2 free tickets to a game in Atlanta, World Cup. You got to be there, register. Well, you don't have to be there, but you got to register to win. You got to register to win. Other soccer balls and a Lego set and some other things. So come down. It's going to be a really good time.
Oh, it sounds like great fun.
You know, well, here's USA. USA's we are in the World Cup. This happens every 4 years, and we're big soccer folks.
Well, now you're calling it football, or are you calling it soccer?
Yes. Yes,
but you were a big soccer player.
I was. I played all the way. My partner Will, he played soccer. Most all of us played soccer. Our kids played soccer. So this is something that is dear to us, dear to the country. We want to promote it here in Huntsville, and that's what we intend to do. We've got a growing soccer community in Madison County.
And it's absolutely free. Just show up.
Absolutely free. Show up.
Okay, excellent.
Yep.
And now give us a call, 256-536-0077. I want you to talk a little about the weather. It was pretty bad here. What happened if...
Yeah, I live over in the Chase area, and so I've got a bunch of my friends and things that live down Winchester Road where there was some very significant flooding today. There was flooding all over the county and all over North Alabama, but there was some pretty serious flooding in this area. And my mind automatically goes to, hey, look, let's everybody be safe. You don't if you see water moving on a roadway, don't try to go through it. Stay where you are. We got those red flashing signs on all our cell phones today. Stay in your house. Don't travel unless you have to. Those kinds of warnings. But my mind, just the type of work that I do automatically goes to, man, I sure do wish these folks had flood insurance, because a lot of times what most people don't know in their homeowner's insurance policy is that you have to pay additional money for flood insurance. And the insurance company's not going to tell you this, but if your home is destroyed by a flood and you don't have flood insurance, then your homeowner's insurance does not pay. So that's a problem that we get into when you do suffer damage. So one thing that I will tell people, make sure when you are getting homeowners insurance, particularly here in Alabama and in North Alabama, make sure you have flood insurance. It's not that much more. And I live on a hill. Even if you live on a hill, you need flood insurance, because what will happen, like in my house, is the water will go down the hill and it'll stop where your house is, and then it'll flood your basement. It could flood your crawl space, do some real damage. And guess what? The insurance company's not going to pay for it if you don't have flood insurance. So even if you're on a hill, your house can be flooded and you can suffer damages that if you don't have the right insurance.
Now they keep telling us don't go through standing water, even if you think that it,
right.
So if I do, is my insurance going to pay?
Here's the thing. That could be a get out of jail free for the insurance company. Certainly if you go through water and you end up hurting somebody else or somebody's in your car, there could be a situation where, particularly if somebody's in your car and they're like, don't go through it, or you're go through water when everybody knows you're not supposed to, and the person in your car gets hurt, that could be a situation where you could be responsible. But if you go through water and your car gets swept away, sometimes an insurance company will say, well, hey, look, you assumed a risk. So
just
be
one
careful with
other
that.
question. If my roof got a little damaged in this weather, what do you suggest I do? Call the insurance company directly, take pictures? What should I do? So
you got flood insurance that is carried on your homeowner's insurance, and then you have wind damage. Sometimes we have hail damage. That, fortunately, we didn't have a big wind or a hail event, but your homeowner's insurance should cover you in the event that your roof is damaged through hail or through wind. That's or fire. Those are coverages that do occur with your homeowner's insurance whenever you purchase it. And so what you would do is you would call up your agent, call up the insurance carrier, and you would make a claim. Make sure to take photos. Make sure that you make sure that you collect the evidence if there is any evidence, so that you can demonstrate that to the insurance company. But certainly you want to do this quickly. You don't want to wait a long period of time, or else that could again be another get out of jail free card for the insurance company.
Well, Heath, Michael from Rainsville has been incredibly patient and waiting. Michael, what's on your mind?
Well, so I am a multimillionaire. I'm a Navy veteran, SEAL Team 6 Dev Group, kind of steer school, sweep boat operator type of guy. I got PTSD, and I got pulled over in Mississippi, Greene County, and they beat me. They beat me in a ditch. They beat me in the jail, and then it was really bad, and then it hurt me. And then I can't get a lawyer. Nobody will take my case.
And is there a reason for that, do you think?
Well,
I don't know. In Mississippi, I've called a bunch of lawyers, and nobody will help me.
Michael, I can go ahead and tell you, I'm sorry for what happened to you. I am, and I appreciate your service to our country. And as somebody who has a father with PTSD, as a wartime veteran, I understand what you go through to a certain degree, and I certainly appreciate your sacrifice. I can go ahead and tell you that those cases can be very, very difficult to pursue, and particularly if you're trying to get a lawyer local to that community, then you're going to have a very difficult time doing that. Those are violations of your civil rights. Those are sometimes federal claims where you have to go into a federal court to make those claims under federal statute and the U.S. Constitution, and it is a very niche area of the law. There are very few lawyers that handle police brutality cases on a regular basis, and that's something that if you call a law firm outside of that area and ask for a lawyer or an attorney that handles police brutality cases, a lawyer like myself, we could refer you to somebody who does handle those types of police brutality cases. We've been in a situation where we've handled those before as well. They can be devastating cases. It can be difficult to find a lawyer. They are niche type of cases. So don't give up, Michael. What I'm telling you is don't just give up because you haven't been able to find somebody in that local area. If the facts are right, and they're very fact intensive, if the facts are right, then you should be able to find an attorney.
Well, I appreciate your good advice.
Yeah.
We've got one more caller, a guy with a great name.
Okay.
It's Robert from Huntsville. Here we go. Robert, what's your question?
I'm trying to find an attorney in the Huntsville area that's willing to take a slip and fall case. Like you trip over something, say at a store.
Well, that's just the type of stuff that Timberlake League and Brooks does.
We do handle those on a number of occasions, and I'm the idiot in my firm who works in 3 different states, so I handle those types of cases in 3 different states. They're called premises liability cases, and that's the overarching fancy legal term for it. And what that means is that you were on somebody else's premises, and then you got hurt. And if you were providing a benefit, in other words, if you're going into a big box store or a gas station or going to the movies, then those businesses owe a responsibility to you. Their responsibility is to maintain their premises in a reasonably safe condition and to warn you of hazards that they knew about, should have known about, or they created. So those are the things that we have to prove in front of a jury before we can recover on your behalf, and they can be difficult cases. There's no statutes that the folks down in Montgomery pass to govern how we have to prove your case. These are all opinions made by judges over the last 150 years. They can be very fact intensive, but basically if you slipped on some water in a store and the store should have known about it, then you may have a claim you can make, particularly if you suffered a significant injury. So that's something that we do handle on a regular basis. They can be difficult. There is one thing that's important to note is that you as a person in a business have a responsibility as well, and you have to avoid what is called open and obvious hazards. And what that means is that if you could have discovered the hazard in time to avoid it, then sometimes that you won't be able to recover. I tell you that, Robert, because it is incredibly important before you talk to any insurance company to contact a lawyer about any of those premises liability cases. Why do you ask, Robert?
I don't know. Why do I ask that?
Because what will happen is the insurance company will get you to say you could have seen it in a roundabout way, and they will have a recorded statement of you, and you will not be able to recover. Even if the situation is you couldn't have avoided it, and you will talk yourself out of a potential claim.
Those happy people just don't want to write me a check.
They don't want to help you. They don't want to help you.
But they can take my money somehow. Listen, here, talk to me just a little bit. It's different if you're hurt on city property.
Yes, it is. It can be different if you're hurt on city property. A city still has a responsibility to maintain a premises in a reasonably safe condition. However, sometimes a city gets a get out of jail free card because of what's called sovereign immunity. If the city, for instance, if you're in a park of a city and they aren't conducting any business and you step in a hole in the ground and break your ankle, that is not going to be a claim you will likely be able to recover for. Conversely, if you're walking down a sidewalk and you fall in a hole and break your ankle, the state of Alabama has indicated that cities have a responsibility to maintain their sidewalks. So that is a claim you need to make against the city that was supposed to maintain those sidewalks. Importantly, against a city, though, you have 6 months from the time of your injury to notify the city of a potential claim, or you forever lose the opportunity to do so.
6 months? What if you're still getting medical treatment?
You'll lose the opportunity to do so. You've got to file what's called a notice of claim with the city within 6 months, or you lose your opportunity. Against a county, it's 1 year.
Doesn't seem fair somehow.
We have a text message.
That same number you see on your screen, you can text us if you don't want to talk to us, but we'd love to hear your voice. But
Okay.
they're telling me I need to take a break. We're going to take that right when we get back.
Sounds good.
Stay with us.
pays an advertising fee to this station.
You're watching WAAY 31 Law Call, the Tennessee Valley's only live legal call-in show for 30 years and counting. Presented by the award-winning personal injury and wrongful death law firm Timberlake, League & Brooks, featuring the knowledge and experience of attorney Michael Timberlake, attorney Will League, attorney Heath Brooks, attorney William Meservey, attorney Bobby Marsh, and hosted by family law attorney Sharon Dovian. Your rights, your calls, live. This is WAAY 31 Law Call.
Hey, I'm Robert Lane. Sharon has the evening off, but you're in good hands because Heath Brooks is here.
Very fun to be here answering questions from across North Alabama.
Well, now you can text us at that same number you see on your screen that you can also call and talk to us. And you got a couple here.
We have one. If you have surgery and they send you home and your stitches bust open, is that medical malpractice? You know, medical malpractice is a weird animal in the state of Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, where I also practice. We have taken that law and carved out the Alabama Medical Liability Act from all other types of injury claims and laws in the state of Alabama. And what you have to do is you have to show in a medical malpractice case that the doctor or the nurse or the technician who sewed you up did so in a way that no other doctor, nurse, technician, whoever did it would have done in the nation. They call that the national standard of care. And it's not enough for me to think that. It's not enough for you to think that. What we have to do is we have to hire an expert that's in the same position as the person we are accusing of violating the standard of care. So it can be very difficult to do. So if those stitches were performed in a way that violated the national medical standard of care, and if we can find the appropriate medical practitioner to say that standard of care was breached, then there could be a claim there. That's what you got to have. But you know, these cases, these medical malpractice cases, are very difficult to win in the state of Alabama. We do them on a regular basis in a nursing home settings, medical misprescription types of situations, single doctor malpractice cases. We handle them. They're very difficult to win. They take years to recover on, and you really need to cross your T's and dot your I's to be able to handle those things.
But I've heard you say that you need to be hurt. Just because someone did something bad,
That's
if you're
right.
not hurt, then you don't have much of a case.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you got a cake and you got the flour and you got the sugar and you got the milk, you know, you got all the things to make the cake, but then you don't have the eggs, you don't have a cake. So if you don't have the damages, you don't have a cake. That's the way it goes with medical malpractice. You've got to have all those things. Did the doctor breach the standard of care? Were you injured as a result of the breach of that standard of care? What damages did you suffer? Those are all the things you have to look at when you're looking at a medical malpractice case. And they're very complicated, very difficult to pursue. We handle them on a regular basis, and they are a years-long type of endeavor.
We have Garth standing by. You've been very patient. Thank you for waiting. Garth, what's on your mind tonight?
Yeah, can someone come on your property and come to your front door and knock on it and get you outside and attack you, and you not know anything about it?
Well, you would know if you were attacked, I think.
Well, Garth, the short answer to that is no. Somebody can't come onto your property, drag you out your door, and attack you. There may be some limited exceptions to that, but they have to announce who they are, why they're there. If it was law enforcement, then they have to have a warrant to be able to enter into your home. You know, so the answer to that question will be no. We see this, in the news a lot, where bounty hunters sometimes come onto people's property, they get the wrong house, they drag somebody out, they beat the stew out of them. That does not give you a get-out-of-jail-free card just because you think you're in the right place. So, in a situation like that, you could be entitled to damages for whatever injuries you sustained from the person that caused your injuries, whether that's sometimes your pain and suffering, your mental anguish. If it was an intentional thing, then you could get some what's called punitive damages, which would seek to punish that person or to prevent them from ever doing that again. So there are very limited situations where that'd be okay. I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Dragging you out is one thing, but I mean, people can come and knock on your door, right?
Sure.
You sort of invited them by having a walkway.
You can post, don't come onto my property, no solicitation, do not cross my line, and that's that aside from postal workers and things of that nature, then people can't come on your property. That would be trespassing. But if somebody comes and knocks on your door, you open it and they drag you out and start beating, you can't do that.
I understand that, but I mean, you hear about people who sort of shoot through the door. I mean, and I've always gone, well, no, you have a sidewalk there.
Yeah. I mean, it depends upon your signage.
I understand. Let's. All
right.
Okay. Well, Bruce in Athens. Bruce, what's on your mind tonight? Thanks for calling us.
Well, same thing I told you a moment ago. There. Perhaps the show's coming to an end there, but phone dropped a call there, and perhaps I won't make it.
I didn't understand what you were saying. Try me again, Bruce.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air. What question do you have for Heath?
Well, it was a statement, as I told you earlier, about medical malpractice as a retired medical professional. That's all I was going to add.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Gotcha, Bruce. Thank you for clarifying that.
Do you have another email that you wanted to talk about?
We do. Have you ever heard of a case being dismissed with prejudice for failure to prosecute on a CV case first action, nothing but a preliminary hearing by attorneys only and the judge? Actually, I have heard of a case being dismissed that way. And what I think this texter, this person is trying to indicate is when you file a lawsuit, your case can get resolved in any number of ways. One way your case can get resolved is you can take it all the way to a jury and a jury can make a decision. Another way your case can get resolved is that you and the other party agreed to a settlement or a resolution without having to get to a jury. And then a third way, and for a bunch of different reasons your case can get resolved, is that it can be dismissed, and it can be dismissed one of two ways. With prejudice, meaning you can never bring that action again, that's what the fancy legal term means, or without prejudice, meaning there is a situation where you could bring that action again if the situations were right. So a failure to prosecute a civil case, this was a CV case, is a civil case, can sometimes lead to a dismissal. It is up to the judge's discretion to determine whether or not that case is dismissed with or without prejudice. If you disagree, as the person who had their case dismissed, with the judge's decision on how that case was dismissed, you can file a motion to reconsider that ruling, because sometimes judges, they may miss a point. They may not understand what your position is. They may think you don't want to continue with the case. So if that's a situation where you would want to continue your case, I strongly suggest you file a motion to reconsider. There is a time limit for that. So if your case has just been dismissed, make sure you do that quickly, or else you're going to forever be prevented from filing a motion to reconsider.
Heath, there's a time limit for everything.
There's a time limit for everything.
This is unbelievable.
The point is that when you make a decision, when you get an order like that, it's just like when you get a bill. Don't put it in your top drawer and forget it exists, because it is going to come back up some point. If you get an order like that and you need to talk to a lawyer, get the motion filed within the appropriate time.
All right, we got about a minute in this block. They want to know what contingency fees are. Could you explain that?
Yes.
Can you do that in a minute?
My type of work is personal injury work. Everyone who does my type of work should work on a contingency basis. What that means is that we don't get paid a nickel unless we recover for you. Different cases are our cases, and the way we get paid is we work on a percentage of what we collect. Depending upon the case, that can be anywhere from 1/3 of the amount we collect all the way up to 40% of the amount that we collect, or if it's in some circumstances, it can be higher than that. And generally speaking, the folks in my line of work, they pay all the expenses associated with your case, which can be depositions, hiring of experts, filing of the lawsuit, subpoenas, hiring folks to serve those subpoenas, the medical illustrators. Those costs can increase, and the personal injury lawyer, myself, my law firm, we take on all of those expenses. If we lose, we eat our expenses. So you never owe any of the type of work that I do, you never owe these types of lawyers a dime, us included, unless we recover for you.
Thank you very much. Hang with us. We'll be back in just a minute.
Brooks, which pays an advertising fee to this station.
If you didn't get your question in tonight, you can reach Heath Brooks right here in Huntsville. It's 536-0770.
And Sharon does family law, that's child custody, divorces. She's not here tonight, but you can reach her at 256-539-7337 or www.sharonfamilylaw.com.
Now, the guys are going to be on the midday news on Monday, but tell me about that party one more time.
It's free to the public. Come watch U.S. soccer. It's going to be a great time. 6 to 8, kickoff at 8 o'clock. 6 to 8's our warm-up, kickoff at 8. We'd love to see you.
Sharon will be back next week. Bye now.
Have a great night.